And I've always said that's the reason they never 19 days. Not one member of
totally,
my family. I mean, I totally believe that.
Stepfather or
She
her
is.
father
She is just the sweetest
interviewed.
little girl. She was my firstborn. A mother at 18. I have a lot to learn, but we were friends. I'll stop at the line. I'll wait. The whole routine. No, you're not. Those are the rules. If you want to stay on this side of 12 Mile, you're free to go anywhere. But boy, they did a really good job. Yes, we were totally isolated. When he gave a speech, not a speech, a talk at a group in Birmingham, I don't know if it, I kind of know it was Ruth Stebbins. They did get, Ruth Stebbins, Karol, Robertson, and myself. Right between the Barbie dolls and buying a record album. Wouldn't he be number one? But, and I do remember detectives coming to the house and different things, but I never once remember them asking about any members of my family. Never once. My brother was never interviewed, never contacted. He lived right there in Royal Oak. Erica's stepfather's brother who lived right behind the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven is here and his house is right there. Never knocked on their door. Never interviewed. Not one member of my family on either Erica's stepfather or her father was ever interviewed. Now, wouldn't that be the first thing you would do? I mean, you don't just walk into a home and go, they're all in. Those people, they wouldn't hurt anybody. That isn't the way a detective thinks. I mean, common sense tells you don't think like that. Wouldn't the first thing you would say to me, well, did you have a fight with your brother or a brother-in-law or an uncle? Or, what is it, 9 out of 10 is because it's a family member when there's a murder, or something. I don't know what the statistics are. But anyway, I've always found that very, very strange. That even Glenn, who was my boyfriend at the time, who we married and he just passed away, he wasn't suspected. Wouldn't he be number one? Boy, they did a really good job. Yes, we were totally isolated. Totally. I didn't meet Mr. King until 2010. I met him 2 years ago when he gave a speech, not a speech, a talk at a group in Birmingham. I don't know if I kind of know what was the name of it. It was just, it was a club. And he gave us a talk about problems he's had through the years with Oakland County and the case. And that's the first time I met him. First time I ever talked to him. Never met his wife, never talked to her. Ruth Stebbins. They did get, Ruth Stebbins, Karol, Robertson, and myself. We did meet back in 1977, maybe in the fall of that year. There was a psychiatrist. No, who was there? Somebody to do with Birmingham. Give me a minute, I'll think of his name. But he was there. He just gave us a little talk and just wanted us to meet one another. That was probably a 15-minute, 20-minute meeting, and that's the only time I've ever met Karol Robinson. And then Ruth Stebbins did call, I don't know, maybe she called me in the 80s. I think it was in the mid-80s, because I kind of remember where I was living at the time. And I knew that she had certainly had problems through the years, dealing with this. And she talked about Mark's bedroom, that she had never touched it since he left and things like that. And of course, I had 3 other children. I had to move on. I had to take care of them. And when you're feeling the guilt of not being there for one, I wanted to make sure that all my attention was devoted to the other 3. And I'm not saying that maybe I probably wasn't the best parent in the world, but I just said I have to be here for my other children. I can't fall apart. I can't let this destroy my life, which it did, but I've got to, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh, gosh, she was the sweetest little girl. And I've always said that's the reason they kept her for 19 days. And I totally believe that. She is just the sweetest little girl. She was my firstborn. A mother at 18. I had a lot to learn, but we were friends. We just had a lot of fun together. And she was a darling baby, a great toddler. She did good in school. She had friends. She was just, how do you just say? She was just nice. She was. And, she was just preteen. She was right between the Barbie dolls and buying a record album. Do you know what I mean? And I know she was into Sonny and Cher. Remember, they were so popular back then. And Charlie's Angels, her friends, her two other girlfriends, they were always. In fact, she'd gotten her hair cut just before this incident. She'd had long hair, and the picture that they show is her school picture with her long hair in September. And she'd just gotten her hair cut, and I can't remember if it was in December or exactly when, November or December. But she had it cut like one of the girls in Charlie's Angels. And I don't know which one. It wasn't the Farrah Fawcett because she had the long hair. But whoever had the kind of bob type of haircut. I remember going into the beauty shop and saying, I want my hair cut like, who were the Charlie's Angels? Kate Jackson? But anyway, she wasn't home the weekend before this happened. She had been out visiting friends in where we had moved from, out in Sterling Heights. And she had been out there for the weekend, and she had just gotten home, I think, Friday or Saturday. She went to get a magazine. It was a Sunday morning, probably Donny Osmond. It was Sunday morning, and we had a little grocery store. It wasn't one of the big chain stores. It was just a small grocery store in Berkeley, and it was on our side of 12 miles. She didn't have to cross a busy street, and it was just, you just zigzagged a block, and it was right there. I had sent her up to the store that morning, and I don't know why. It was to buy something for dinner, probably Kraft macaroni and cheese. I mean, I don't remember what it was, but it had to be something real simple for me to send her to the store. Maybe I needed soup or something to make a dish, I don't know. But I had sent her to the store. When she came back, she said, can I go to the 7-Eleven to get a teen magazine? And I told her no. I said, of course you can't, you can't cross 12 Mile. Parents, you've heard it before. Oh, please, I promise. I'll stop at the light. I'll wait. The whole routine. No, you're not. Those are the rules. If you want to stay on this side of 12 Mile, you're free to go anywhere, but you cannot cross 12 Mile. And she went on and on for quite a while. Please, come on. I did something for you. Do something for me. All right. And I don't remember. I probably gave her money for going to the store. I probably said, okay, here's 50 cents or a quarter or something for doing me the favor. I don't know where the money came from, or if I gave it to her. Maybe I said, okay, here's $1. I let her go. And there were stoplights. Well, I don't know if you've ever been down 12 Mile in Berkeley, but there's stoplights about every 3 or 4 blocks. You only go a couple blocks and there's a stoplight. And I told her, the 7-Eleven was over across the street from the bowling alley, and I think there was a stoplight maybe about 2 blocks down west and maybe 2 blocks east, and I told her she had to cross at one of those lights. I gave her the big lecture. You can't dart across the street between the lights. You have to go to the light. You have to wait for it to be green, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I don't know which one she went to, but I do remember the lecture about you have to cross at one of those lights. You can go down and cross at this one, or you can go up past the bowling alley and cross at that one, but you have to cross at the 2 lights. And I believe Chris, when she said, Mom, that's what I'll do, I never, maybe the boys or something, I'd look at them and think, well, they're going to. But Chris, I never doubted that she wouldn't go to one of those lights. And that was the last. And I remember my boys were outside playing. I never thought too much about it, but I remember Mark, the youngest boy at the time, saying, I remember Chris running down the street, or walking down the street, skipping or whatever. And he said, and I never saw her again.